How you guys doing? Making another video. Topic for this one is going to be what a typical week at Walmart is like. For a while, I was actually thinking that no matter where we're at in the country and whatnot, our weeks were relatively similar. I've started watching a lot of other drivers who make videos from YouTube and also on TikTok, and I've realized our weeks are very different depending on where you live in the country. Prime example, Right Lane Trucking, he posted on his TikTok, a typical week for him, and I was like, whoa, that's very different than mine. And he goes, well, how so? So I figured I'd go ahead and make a response video, or just, to talk to you guys about what my week is like on this side of the country. I run out of Shelby, North Carolina, so I primarily stay in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Kentucky, and Virginia, West Virginia, those states. So I didn't really go through too many states this week. I did a nice amount of driving, but didn't really hit that many states. And I told him that on his video, I said, yeah, your week is usually it's a little different than my week. He was like, well, how so? And I said, because I get way more activity. It sounds like he gets more miles, but at least in comparison to the week he posted, it sounds like I get way more activity. And he said to me, he was like, well, this week has been a little slow with activity. And I said, yeah, it makes sense. So I'm going to drop what my weeks are like, being that I'm a 6'3" driver. I'm going to drop what my week is like, and hopefully, buddy, you come across this video and you can see what I mean about how it's a very big difference. So, day one started in Shelby, North Carolina, obviously. I went from Shelby down to Columbia, South Carolina, to the store, delivered at the store. Went from Columbia, South Carolina to Lawrence, South Carolina. Got an arrive, drop, and a hook. Went from Lawrence, South Carolina up to Spartanburg, South Carolina to the claim center. And then went from the claim center back down to Lawrence. And then I went from Lawrence up to Charlotte to a vendor that we have up there. Did a little bit more work, and I ended up laying over somewhere. I don't know where I laid over at. I didn't write it down. I left Charlotte and ended up stopping in, I now remember, I ended up spending the night in Fort Mill, South Carolina at one of our stores out there. All right, that was day one. All in all, with mileage and activity, I made $361. Somebody might ask, did you make a layover pay? You don't get paid layover on your first day. It goes to every day after, though, because the layover pay works. You'll enter it in a computer on that day or that night, and it will fall on the day that you end the layover. So I might have started my layover Tuesday night, but considering I finished my layover Wednesday morning, the pay for that layover falls on Wednesday, if that makes sense. So, day two, Wednesday, I went from Fort Mill down to Sumter, South Carolina. I sat at the vendor in Sumter, South Carolina for 5 hours and 29 minutes. After that, I turned and went from Sumter up to Concord, North Carolina, to our CP yard up there, our consolidation point yard. Dropped there, got a load from there that was taking me to Coleman, Alabama. So I left there and started my drive, and obviously I stopped somewhere. So total, all in all, at the end of day two, I made $365. Yeah, it was kind of a rough day because I had to sit for so long at that vendor. So I wake up, start day 3, make my way from where I was parked at down to Coleman, Alabama, dropped and hooked at Coleman, departed Coleman, and made it up to Douglasville, Georgia, which is just shy of Atlanta, off of 85. So for total for that day, I made $406. Day 4 started in Douglasville, where I had that layover. Went from there to the Claim Center in Spartanburg, South Carolina. And then I went from Spartanburg down to Clinton, South Carolina. And then I went from Clinton down to Columbia and stopped at the Petro that night. That was a short day. So I only made $265 that day. The reason behind me cutting that day short is, as a 6'3" driver, if you run 14 hours a day for your first 5 days, you're not going to have any hours left for your 6th day. So you need to find a way to divvy up those hours so you'll have time for your 6th day. So on my 4th day, I just cut it short and stopped in Columbia. I could have kept going, but I stopped. Day 5, which happened to be Saturday. Woke up, went from Columbia, South Carolina to Hope Mills, North Carolina. I went from Hope Mills, North Carolina to Lincolnton, North Carolina, the pallet yard. I went from Lincolnton back to Shelby, picked up a store load, went from Shelby to Elkin, North Carolina. And I did a layover at Elkin at the store after I delivered. So that was day 5. Total after everything, I made $502 that day, which was yesterday. And today, I only had but like 6 hours left on my 70. So it was a very short day. Woke up in Elkin, drove from there back to Shelby, took a load from Shelby up to the store in Charlotte, North Carolina, drove from Charlotte back to Shelby, and that was the end of my day. And I grossed $254 today, which is Sunday. So you get that weekend pay differential for Saturday and Sunday. All in all, this week I grossed $2,153 in a 6-day span. And what I like to do is divide that 6 days, or that gross that I make for the 6 days, divide it by 6 days and see what my average is. And I averaged $358.83. So as you can see, you guys, my week has a lot of activity in it. So this is a relatively average week for me. This is probably pretty much in the middle. It's not too grand, but it's not bad. This is a pretty good feeler for what your week could potentially look like as a 6-day driver out on. We're not making a U-turn, babe. Sorry. This is a pretty good feeler for what your week could potentially look like, having a 6-day schedule, 6 days on, 3 days off. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this. Literally everything I did this week, I did a few hundred miles short of 3,000. Actually, I'll tell you the exact number I did. It was pretty close to 3,000. Let's see. Whip out a calculator real quick. Day 6. Yeah, 2,580 miles. That's what I did for the week. 2,580 miles. Pretty good week. In my opinion, it helps to be a 6-day driver. It's just look at what works best for you in your life. But as always, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Y'all have a great night. Right Lane Trucking, I hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully you can get a chance to see what I meant when I commented on your TikTok about how your week and my week tend to be a little bit different. All right, guys, take care. Have a great night.